When people are so hyped up that they say cryptocurrency is never going down, it's going to go up forever, you'll know that it won't. And when people are anxious, when they see Bitcoin rallying, and they say, could this be the second coming? Could this be the return of Bitcoin? You'll know that it isn't. And when people start to say, RIP, Bitcoin is dead, dream over, you'll know that a new dream is beginning. Welcome to Cryptonomics, Principles of Cryptocurrency and Investing.
Lock your wallets, take your profits.
Thanks for tuning in to Cryptonomics, and thank you to all those people who are listening on iTunes, who go onto iTunes and leave a 5-star rating for Cryptonomics, because that helps boost the ratings and boost the listeners, boost the funky ear juice of Cryptonomics into new listeners so they can learn as much as you are. Many of you probably remember a few months ago when I talked about how to predict the Bitcoin price, and I talked about when the market is getting overheated, and you can notice it on social media. There's a lot of noise out there, obviously, but if you listen in the right way, you can actually hear the thoughts of the money in the market. It's a lot easier to tell when the market's getting closer to the top, because that's when people are proud and they're ready to brag about how much money they made, and they all think they're trading geniuses, so they tell you all about it. When it gets down to the bottom, things tend to be a little quieter because people don't really want to tell you about all the fortunes they've lost. Even so, there are things you can look out for on social media when it comes close to the bottom. Just a few days ago, on the 14th of November, we saw Bitcoin drop from around $6,300 to $5,600. Today, on the 19th of November, it dropped another 5%. But what I've noticed, what a lot of people have noticed over the last month, is that it's been pretty flat. And even when Bitcoin had a little spike, there weren't really many cheerleaders. There weren't people saying Bitcoin is coming back. The other day, a friend of mine said, you know, Kurt, I really respect you because you're the only one of my friends who is obsessed with crypto who is still talking about it even after the price collapsed. Basically, I haven't seen anybody complaining on social media about these recent drops. But what I have seen is people actually saying the dream is over, RIP, goodbye crypto. People are starting to give up on the market, and that is actually a good sign. In a recent speech at the Texas Bitcoin conference, Jeff Berwick mentioned how last year they saw 5,000 people at that type of conference, but this year, at this time, there's a lot less people around.
The level of interest in these sort of conferences has been going down a lot when things are actually going incredibly well.
A few days ago, my friend said to me, he's not going to buy Bitcoin, he's not going to buy crypto because he's just too worried that he's not going to be able to pick the absolute bottom. If that's your logic, then you're probably not going to be able to invest in anything ever because it's impossible to pick the bottom. I said, do you think the people who bought Bitcoin at $300 as opposed to $200 are crying about it now? You're going to keep some perspective. You're never going to pick the absolute bottom. If you don't believe in this technology, then don't worry about it. You don't have to buy it. But if you do, then you can start buying slowly. That's why we do things like dollar cost averaging, putting in $10 or $20 every week. So we're steadily buying an asset that we're interested in, that we believe in. The old adage is, when others are fearful, it's time to be greedy. When others are greedy, it's time to be fearful. So what about you? Do you have the courage? Do you have what it takes to go against the crowd, to go against the grain, to ignore the other people who are departing the market and do what you really think is good for you? The hype dies down, the hope dies out, but is the faith in your heart going to go out with it? The people who succeed in this market are the people who see when others don't dare to look, who take heart when other hearts shrivel, who keep their wits when others lose their heads. What about you? Do you have that courage? Does your dream yet live? I'd like to send some shout outs. Last video that I did talking about user experience in Bitcoin and crypto got 180 comments on Steemit. Some of them more spammy than others, some of them more respectful than others, but a lot of them, even when I disagreed with them, I could see that there was knowledge and reason backing them up. So thanks for all those people who commented. Michael Nimitz, Transistor, Silent Screamer, Joey Arnold, Sames, FRDem 3.0, among others. Thank you so much for listening. Thanks for those iTunes listeners who put that 5-star rating on there. And remember, stay grateful.